Guys, hi again. Ru Ross for Yonkers Voice, sitting with Judge Richard Sweeney. My accent is getting better, guys. I think you guys, because in the beginning, Judge, I had a hard time for them to understand me, but they're learning Ruish language.
Sure.
Okay. Guys, before we start anything, I want to make a disclaimer, the disclaimer that we always make. Yonkers Voice does not endorse or oppose any candidate. Our only interest is to keep the people of Yonkers informed of who is who in the political arena, so you can make an educated decision about who deserves your vote. Today we're here at Margarita Bar Restaurant at 332 South Broadway. Great place to come, have a beer, have a good meal, listen to some music, all type of music, Mexican, Brazilian, Portuguese, whatever. Come on down, have a beer, ask for Juan, tell them that you saw this on Yonkers Voice. Well, Judge Richard Sweeney. Judge, thank you very much for being here with us today, for taking the time to sit with us.
Well, thank you for having me. First, let me say, though, you referred to me as judge. I was a judge. I'm a former judge. I just want to be clear under the ethical rules that I am former, I am not current, and I am running for Yonkers City Court Judge.
Thank you. Judge, tell us a little bit about you. Are you a Yonkers man? Were you born and raised in Yonkers? Just a little background so people understand who is Mr. Okay. Richard Sweeney.
Yes, born and raised in Yonkers, living here just about my whole life. I did go away to college, but living here my whole life. Very involved in the community. I do, over the years, I'm 60 years old. I've been very involved in community service, particularly disability rights groups. Westchester Disabled on the Move, Inc., which is an independent living center. Access Westchester, Inc., which helps build playgrounds for all children, including the disabled. I've been involved in the Yonkers Lions Club, East Yonkers Rotary, and I was involved with Gorton High School with their mock trial program. That was about the time I was a judge, 2010 and 09. The J-Law Project, which is we would go into schools, Yonkers schools, and talk to children, 4th or 5th graders, about the law.
Judge, laws are changing. Lots of laws are changing. How do you feel about that?
Well, my personal feelings don't matter all that much. If I'm elected, I will swear to uphold the law, and that's my job.
And Judge, why are you running? I see lots of folks running for the political position. Some are running for this reason, some are running for other reasons, but we need people that run for the right reasons. What is your reason for running?
Well, reasons for running. I'm an attorney for 34 years. I've appeared before many, many judges. Great judges, maybe not so great judges sometimes, but I think it's time, that I do that job. And I have done that job. I'm a former Yonkers City Court judge. Also, you might say it's in the bloodline. My grandfather was a New York Supreme Court judge here in Westchester County. My father was a lawyer, so I'm third generation now.
How do you feel about the law and justice in our community? You think that the law is fair and square? We say that the judicial system should be blind, and I see that you are visually impaired. You cannot see. So no one can say that you are favorable to this one or that one because you don't see the people in front of you.
That's right. The symbol of justice is a blindfolded woman holding the scales of justice. And that idea, I'm totally blind. And I think the idea of blindfolding the woman on the scale with the scales of justice is that the judge doesn't see things that are not relevant to a case. skin color, gender orientation, religion, anything like that. I'm not aware of that unless it becomes part of the case, you know, say a description of a perpetrator, something like that. But, you know, I won't be prejudiced by that. If someone has tattoos, you know, to one person that's body art, to other person it means a gangster biker or something.
That's it. Sorry to interrupt you, Judge, but that's in theory. Yes, justice is blind.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care if you white, yellow, purple, or whatever.
That's right.
That's in theory. But in practice, that doesn't happen very often. It does sometimes. There is some judges that are fair. I'm trying to find out if you will be a fair judge. A judge that the people of Yonkers can say, Judge Sweeney, if elected, is a fair man. He will apply justice according to the law and not according to the defendant that is in front of him.
Absolutely. Apply the facts to the law. That's their job, and that's what I would do.
Judge, you have somebody running against you on a Democrat line. You are endorsed by the Republican line.
She is running, I believe, on the conservative line, Democratic line, independence line. I'm not sure about working families.
Okay. If I am an undecided voter, and I'm trying to determine and define who should I give my vote to, according to you, what is the main difference between you and your opponent? Why should I vote for you and not for your opponent?
First of all, experience. 34 years I have. I mean, you can ask my opponent how many years she has. I think it's about 1/3 of the number I have. But 34 years as a lawyer, former Yonkers City Court judge. I've understand the Yonkers City Court is criminal court, traffic, small claims, and landlord-tenant. I've practiced as a lawyer in all of those courts. I've served as a judge in all of those courts. Tremendous amount of experience. So right now I'm a defense attorney, I'm a trial attorney. Tremendous amount of experience. That's the one main message I would say to the people of the city of Yonkers. Experience.
Judge, in Yonkers, we live in a community that is diverse and inclusive, which means we have people of many different backgrounds, countries, different languages, and some of them are undocumented. Nevertheless, they might appear in front of you.
Yes.
How do you see that? Would their legal status in the United States have any bearing in the case that it's in front of you?
No. And one thing I have to applaud the courts in Westchester County is it makes no difference if someone is undocumented. As a defense attorney, I know I've represented many undocumented aliens, and it would make no difference to me. It makes no difference to the judges in the courts now. With one exception, there is a rule and the question that's always asked, say if there's a plea, is do you understand that if you are an illegal alien, you cannot take back your plea?
Illegal or legal? Can you take back your plea?
Somebody can always make that motion. If they say, I didn't understand my rights. If a defendant says, I didn't realize I would be deported if I took this plea. So the judges now, and what I would do too, is if somebody needs to check with an immigration attorney, give them adjournment to do that.
Well, Judge, I hear what you're saying. I don't know if I agree in its totality, but courts in Westchester County have not much to say about the legality of the status of the defendant in front of you. Because yes, police, at least Yonkers Police Department has a directive that their officers are not supposed to ask the legal status of the people they might take in custody or arrest.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, that person might be taken to Valhalla that very same night, and Westchester County will ask that question. So what difference does it make? Okay, immigration doesn't come to Yonkers, but might go to Valhalla. So the end result is the same. I know that has nothing to do with the court, but
That's right. The court doesn't say, you know, don't reveal this. There's nothing the court can do about it. I believe ICE is notified when somebody goes to jail.
For the legal status.
About the legal status, yes.
Regardless of where that person goes, is arrested. Yonkers, Mount Vernon, whatever. As long as it happens in Westchester County, and basically in the entire country now, ICE is notified.
I think so. You know, there was recently the county of Westchester did declare a sanctuary county. So I'm not sure if that's still true. That might not be true. But there's nothing the courts can do about that.
Now, Judge,
in fact, there was a recent case where a Massachusetts judge allowed the illegal alien to leave through the back door.
We know what happened to that judge.
That judge has been arrested and charged.
Yeah. We know what happened to that judge.
Yeah.
But now, on a personal level, Judge, Mr. Sweeney, how do you see the situation with undocumented opportunity to perhaps articulate in a different way about why and how important it is to come out and vote? Because lots of people, they talk about issues, they talk about problems, but when voting day comes, they don't show up to vote. How important it is to come out and vote?
Well, I think it's very important that people come out. You know, in Westchester County, we've had elections decided by one vote. So people, you know, I tell people, I tell my friends particularly, you know, go out and vote. And like, someone say, oh, what does my vote count? It doesn't, but really it does, and it can. Very important to vote. As far as, you know, why come out and vote for me, I described my experience, fairness, I promise to be fair and impartial. I think, given my 34 years of experience, I have a lot of common sense.
And Judge, right now, what is your line of law?
My line of law is, I do, vast majority of the work I do is criminal defense, and that's really the largest part of the Yonkers City Court work. I do some family law and a little bit of residential real estate, so those three areas.
Judge, I have to ask you a question. It's, you know, it's away from, you know, from your job. It has nothing to do with Westchester County or Yonkers, but I have to ask, how you feel about the current environment in our nation in regards to the current President of the United States? How do you see him? What do you feel about him? What is your personal opinion about him?
I am not allowed, under the ethics rules, to give that opinion. Let me tell you a little story. 1970s, Buffalo, crime, really bad. Somebody running for city court judge of Buffalo said, I'm going to be tough on crime. He won. He was removed from office because he violated the ethical rules. So, and the reasoning there is, he said, I'm going to be tough on crime, that means you're pro-prosecution. If you're pro-prosecution, you're not fair. So any violation of the ethics, even if I win, I could be taken off the bench. So I can't answer that.
Do you think that the President of the United States also has ethics that he has to comply with? Or those ethics that you're talking about is applicable to judges, but not to the Commander-in-Chief?
The ethics I talk about are applicable to judicial candidates only.
Well, Judge, I thank you for taking the time of sitting with us. Maybe there is something else that I have not asked, but you feel that it's important to bring to the attention of our audience. Please take this time to speak on that.
Well, thanks for having me, first of all, very importantly. There are a couple of aspects of my life I would like to point out. I'm a former member of the Teamsters, Local 456. I am admitted to practice law before the United States Supreme Court. I'm an Ironman triathlete, Westchester County Triathlon. I did that a few times. Like I said, very involved in the in community service, and that's about all I can think of.
Judge, any endorsement yet for many of the unions as of now?
No, I have applied to a few, and
wait on that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. Again, thanks to Margarita Restaurant Bar located at 332 South Broadway in Yonkers. Guys, don't forget to come down here, have a drink, have something to eat, have fun, and don't forget to vote for Mr. Richard Sweeney if you think that he's the right man for this job. Be informed, make a decision based on facts, on record, and who deserves the vote. Not on who you like as a person, but on who can do the job that is right for the people of Yonkers. Stay tuned for more Yonkers Voice for you.